When routine immigrant detention mushroomed into political fallout between the government and Cuban protesters charging alleged abuse at the detention center was being cloaked, the feud threatened to cripple tourism and the country's human rights reputation.
But an agreement signed today between the two countries seeks to avert the extended stay of Cuban migrants. Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell says the agreement, already in the works when those series of protests began, will go a long way in resolving the repatriation challenges facing both countries. Charisma Robinson has more.
For years, Cuban nationals illegally entering the country would have been housed at the Carmichael Road Detention Center for months prior to repatriation. Now that this new agreement is in effect, Foreign Affairs Minister Fred Mitchell announced Wednesday the repatriation time for Cuban detainees will be reduced to a number of weeks.
What we're trying to do is to be sure that as soon as the interdiction takes place at sea, the Cuban government is properly notified that their citizens are in the custody of the Bahamas government. And then there's a certain measures which follow from that, which says that they respond within a specific time once the proper information is imparted. And then we respond because they have to identify their citizens, that it's their citizens. And once that's done, then they get back to us. And then we are to indicate to them or to seek the repatriation flight. And there are timelines imposed on both sides.
Minister Mitchell said compared to our neighbors to the south, where they are dealing with thousands of Cuban migrants, the situation is not so much a financial burden on the government, but a political issue.
It is unacceptable to have people in a detention center for long periods of time in a kind of no man's land. And so we're hoping that this eliminates that.
Right now, there are a total of 19 Cuban nationals at the detention center. Officials say 13 of them will be repatriated on Wednesday. A memorandum of understanding was signed between both countries on migration issues in 1996, and the protocol was signed 2 years later.
And now, in 2013, after 17 years and 15 years, in the first case and the second one, we decided we have a different situation in the world, and it's the good moment to update our procedures regarding the repatriation process and also the memorandum of understanding.
The Cuban ambassador says that this agreement shows that there is a good direct line of communication between both governments when it comes to bilateral relations. Charisma Robinson, ZNS Network News.